Warhips, the lecture has been going on long enough that your invisibility has dropped. Nestor has pointed at bodies like they're markings on a chalkboard and repeated himself several times. He acts a little bit as though you guys aren't there, but he is teaching.
Perisian!
Yeah.
He's absolutely taking notes. He's like, alright, clearly, if he's repeating himself, he must be important.
Oh, of course. Zombies are rather unintelligent beings. They can only follow at most one command a time, and mixing commands leads to disruption. Greater undead that can be created by magic include ghouls and wights. Naturally, ghouls have their origins steeped in the abyss, as they were originally created by Orcus. This is why they should be avoided if possible. Any undead that you create, you should ensure you have complete command over. Whites are the undead that you would want to create more often, as they are loyal soldiers that have greater intelligence.
As Nestor continues, Warhips, you hear thoughts in your mind. You know, it was not merely the identity of Extrematon that I knew.
Perisian, as Nylar does this, I feel like Mylor may be offended that Perisian's focus immediately shifted to, the implications of what, B's being lectured about. He's like, wait a second, so the source of necromancy is with ghouls, is with Orcus in, the Abyss and whatnot, but there's different methodologies to this? Is it like a stepping practice thing? Has they been refined with the ages, or is it from a different source entirely? Oh yeah, Nylor's here. That gets hit immediately.
As you're thinking this, Nylar in your head goes, what? You don't want to ask the professor any of these questions? Nestor's gaping maw sort of you hear cracking in his neck as he sort of turns, doesn't even, sort of scans over the places that you're sitting, and then just keeps moving towards bodies.
Perisian's like, I don't want to hear what they're gonna say next. I'll save my questions for after class. He's writing them down.
Yeah. I'm sure they have plenty of time after class.
I'm sorry, so what was the... Perisian's like, alright, but actually what is Nylor saying? He's actually collecting himself. He went full obsessive mode.
I also know one of Extrematon's very exploitable weaknesses. I see that your friends have, well, perhaps not hired by Durnan, that's not the right word, but your friends have been put in a direction to exterminate Extrematon. I assure you that will not be possible without this weakness.
Perisian begins mulling it over. It's weighing the chances of outright betrayal here versus the chances of better survival here versus the rewards of against Extrematon specifically, and then it's popping his head seems pretty motivated for us to either fuck with Extrematon. You that thought flops in his head that Nylar seems pretty motivated for us to fuck with Extrematon. This might be an enemy of the enemy situation, which he trusts more than outright purposeless kindness from Nylor. Or purposeless, not kindness, but...
Yes, I assure you, I have no intentions of making any moves myself on Extrematon.
Fair enough.
I am just more concerned with my present situation, which we have discussed
We have indeed discussed.
very recently.
Very recently. Interesting. What would you have me do? Merely distract?
All I need is Dumara distracted
Fair enough.
and away from spite.
I'll see what I can do.
That is not. Is that it? What does Warhips think that answer means? Is that like actual agreement?
It's...
But not like all. But like not like I'm immediately going to do that. It's I'm gonna watch out for an opportunity to do that.
Yeah, it's more of an opportunity arises.
All right. You know, part of the reason I considered eating you so recently was not merely because you might tell spite of my plans. Your little trans skull party has ruined my life on several occasions.
Mm-hmm.
And the possibility of removing one of you from the board for good is tempting. You have to make your current survival more tempting.
I understand where you're coming from, and you've definitely seen that weighed upon my mind. And I also feel like I understand that the implications of taking down one of us from the board would completely and utterly enrage that group to a near suicidal degree, I'll be honest.
I have read their minds on a few occasions.
They ain't quite friendly towards you, I ain't gonna lie.
They already would kill me in nearly any circumstance. I just so happen to keep finding things to hide behind. Something I am forced to do because of the situations you all keep placing me in.
Yeah, fair.
When you plan to move on Dumara and distract her, you will take the time to inform me.
Absolutely.
Alright, now, Warhips, is there any hint of you maybe thinking, I could just change my mind later?
It's like, it's going in his brain that it's more complicated. Perisian does have this concern that this child may not be what they seem, but it's also like the moral ramifications is that I like this kid more than I like Nylor, and he puts that like thought to the forefront through a lot of this, and also, but also it's like I do have to live to see my friends, and it would sure suck to get my brain sucked out. He's also like thinking like the logistics of informing Nylor. It's like,
Yeah.
shit, I wish I had the summoning spell, like, pops up in his brain immediately.
There is a library of spells here.
Eye emoji, eye emoji, eye emoji. Excuse me. Where? Remember when Prisley was like, spellbook? In his internal brain, it floods. It floods like hot coals.
Are you listening?
Yeah, absolutely.
A very like a huge claw is like sort of like placed not touching you, but it just goes from like 10 feet behind you as he sticks out both arms to make this weird pseudo cage around you.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, I have a few questions, if you don't mind me asking. Some of them are part of the reanimation of flesh and muscle. While I understand a fragment of the soul involved, is there a method of, like, how, like, we do have animations of skeletons and zombies separately, as in, like, the animations of puppeting bone versus the spasming of muscle? I am curious.
Necromancy is not the study of the flesh.
I was... That's
That is a-
fascinating.
That is a common misconception by those who are simple.
That's fair. That is enlightening. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah.
Shush! Transmutation is what changes matter.
Turns around.
There are some who think that enchantment is the greatest control over others, as it is the magic of the mind. But necromancy is the magic of the soul.
Perisian is nodding vigorously and writing this down. Is that why ghouls are of particular disdain? Because it's been corrupted by... The methodology has been corrupted. It's a different like, does it corrupt the soul inherently?
You should not care about the methodology or the corruption of the soul. The problem is that any ghoul will be loyal to Orcus first and foremost.
Yeah. Of course. Like, that's a corruption away from you. That's a problem. I understand, though. My apologies. I should not speak out. I find your lectures very enlightening. Thank you.
Of course, they are my lectures.
Nestor goes back to talking about this stuff.
Perisian, like... he has to fight from, like, properly paying attention back to class because he's just... He's very interested when people talk about magic in any general thing. He's like, magic of the soul, that's fascinating. Dark, macabre, immoral probably, but fascinating.
Yeah. By the way, out of character, you did the successful distracted teacher by asking questions thing and actually avoided a pop quiz.
Oh shit, let's go!
There's a moment of silence after that. Nestor goes back to lecturing. You're sort of like taking more notes and trying to pay more attention, but then once again, like the kid in class passing notes, you hear in your head, yes, there is a library.
Where?
You... Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy. Fuck.
You just feel like Nyler go deep in your brain, and you like this is what like completely out of choice. You just feel yourself thinking back on all of the paths that you have currently taken in the school.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear.
You remember the room with the 3 wizard statues?
Yep.
Continue to the east, and then go southwest through the cafeteria and continue south. Then you can receive your sending spell.
Oh wait, I'm talking in Nestor's voice. Then you can receive.
Perisian has been so focused on Nestor that the voices in his head, like his processing of voices is a little mixed up.
Canon, I'll take it.
Nyla's like, wait, what are you doing? How are you doing that? Stop! Well, I'm sorry, I'm distracted.
So, there you are. You'll have a sending spell, both with which to contact your friends and with which to contact me. And remember, Warhips, I doubt that this is the first time that we will interact. And I will know immediately if you have done anything that I might not approve of.
I am very aware of that.
I sense you are. He is quiet after that, and a few minutes later, Nestor sort of raises one very long finger, like bottom of the hand, almost at the bottom of the torso. Finger still goes all the way up to his mouth, and he goes,
I'm done. I don't want to talk anymore. That is all for today.
I stand up, give a deep bow, and start shuffling off.
Nyler opens the door for you.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say after you. Thank you. Nylar peering into Perisian's mind for a second is like, oh no, he was fully expecting to open the door for Nylar, like an after you thing. It's not a power trip, he's just being polite.
Yeah. The door to this room that you fled from remains open. Nyler moves over and closes it.
Persian was about to do the same thing, but like felt awkward Nylar behind him. Persian is getting fucking distance. The wizard statues was the one by the Gorgon thing, right? Statue?
No. You will need to go. You will need to go north past the Gorgon statue, but there might be something. There might be a path this way. You haven't been that way yet.
Yeah, we're just kind of meandering. Also, not a big fan of walking up that hallway, kind of, without trying to disarm anything. I inspect the Gorgon statue, see if it's armed.
Yeah, certainly. Go ahead and make a
Arcana or investigation?
investigation check.
Gotcha. Hey. It's a statue.
I mean, this doesn't necessarily get rid of your suspicions, but you don't find anything.
No glowing red eyes that say target sighted. Does this store have labels or anything?
It does not.
Gonna just creak it open, look inside, give a quick peek.
Certainly, go ahead. Put your token in. You look around. You see two creatures, the type of which you think No, they are larger than the average human, but not a lot. And you look over here and you see that they are standing at opposite ends of a fountain, that has very, very smiling, almost overjoyed face of an old man with a big beard and one eye larger than the other, face you're now fairly familiar with, and out of the mouth just spills a bunch of very clean looking water into this sort of basin here. On the other side you see stone braziers that are currently unlit.
Persian peeks in, looks at the creatures, remembers the conversation last one, kind of just waves.
They don't really, it's like they look at you, but they don't say much.
Persian calls out Abyssal. 10 gold if you tell me what this room's about. I like the idea they start pushing each other.
They literally get up here and one of them pushes the other, and they just like.
Persian holds out the 10 gold. Whoever gets here first gets it.
Oh fuck! Give me a second.
They start killing each other.
All right, it's.
All right, 153.
This is the. This is the freshwater basin supply for the Realmer Corps. All the fresh water you need for whatever.
Is it available to students or nah?
It is. It is available to anyone as long as they do not tamper with or destroy it.
Sounds good to me. Persian grabs a water skin, just moseys on past them. What's up? Hi? Why are they following me? Yeah?
It has the end of each of its four hands is just sort of these bisecting claws, but it still tries to rub the two ends of the claws together.
Is this required for the water? Or I paid you the gold that's Persian already handed over the gold. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That doesn't follow you.
Yeah. It's like Persian's like, no, Persian looks at the bag that's in one of them, like, listen, hey, I respect the hospital, but you ain't getting more. Takes the water skin, dips it in. Gets some water.
Seems kind of refreshingly cold.
Yep, I'm casting Detect Magic on this for drugs later.
That's great.
I love bribery. I love when bribery works. It's so funny. Persian crawls through this hallway.
Yeah, you can make a perception check if you want.
Persian crawls through this hallway. Yeah, I guess I'll do it. But he's paranoid. Him overrides his perception with this.
Yeah. Not great.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. He stands up at the end of the hallway.
You do get over here, and once you get in exactly this part of the hallway, there is, and an arrow flies over your head.
Knew it. Hey, let's go. My paranoia was apt. I am going to, while I'm here real quick, cast the alarm spell on my room door.
Certainly. Is that a ritual cast?
It is, so it's gonna be a hot sec. I will...
You might be able to cast it on the other side.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm gonna go inside for it. I creak open the door. I investigate the door to see if it's already been warded or trapped in some way.
Go ahead. You can make an investigation check and an arcana check.
Cool. Arcana and investigation. Fuck, nat 20 Arcana. And 8 investigation.
You're almost disappointed at how unmagic this door seems.
Damn. I open the door, inspect my room for horrible traps.
There are no horrible traps. Not you can see.
I can see. I have Bobbert just... Can you, like, run around in there a lot?
Bobbert jingles slightly into the room.
Clink, 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 clink.
Does not ring multiple times, which implies that there is nothing invisible in here.
That's good. Cool. Just... Alright, awesome. Sorry, I had Bobbert move to every square. Now I'm ready to walk in here. I cast alarm on the door.
You spend some time doing that.
Absolutely. Her. 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 Oh. I'm actually thinking in my brain.
Your poor, poor brain.
My poor, poor brain. Perisian, as he's casting alarm on the door, he's also just going to take a chair and wedge it. Like, there's like, does it open like inside? Like, does it swing on the inside?
It swings inward, yes.
Cool. He takes a chair from his desk and wedges it into it. Yeah, sure. Wizards have, like, dispel magic, but it's gonna be a bit noticeable if they break down the door with something. And they're also generally weak. Perisian is actually gonna cast Rope Trick and think in a pocket plane, because he does not know the extent of Nylor's telepathy.
Yeah, you do more ritual casting.
Well, actually, that's just an instantaneous.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, it's not ritual. Alright. I'm
Yeah.
thinking of the dome.
The dome.
Sure.
Yeah. Perisian is unsure if telepathy can pierce the dome. He goes into a different dimension to think. He enters the quiet chamber. He enters his thinking chamber. Alright. So... what the fuck? I could just, like, try to avoid them. But if I skimp at him too much, I'm gonna piss off Nylor. If I piss off Nylor without backup, I'm dead. Nylor is afraid of that bodyguard. I'm afraid of that kid. But if I inform them, Nylor is gonna get me. Like, it's on sight. I could try to see what resources I can find in that library, see what best I can ward against Nylor with. I mean, I'm going to that library regardless, like, no matter what happens. God, do I have anything for this? Starts looking through, like, his spell books in his inventory. Nothing particularly good. Oh, shit, I should learn some of these spells. Conjure elementals? Yeah, fuck yeah. He pulls out the 2 scrolls of Modify Memory. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This might be something. Wait, what does non-detection do? I also have this. Detection? Wait, what does non-detection do? I got a scroll of it.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, I'm looking it up. For the duration, you hide a target from divination magic, so... not quite... although... I don't know if Nylor is a caster. Genuinely.
There's also the possibility what divination and magic means.
Yeah, exactly. Wait,
Is Detect Thoughts a divination spell?
is Detect Thoughts?
Oh, you're searching it up. I see. The coward's way out.
I am absolutely searching it up. It is a divination spell. But is it... does it count with psionic bullshit? Is this a hard count in Nylor? Just in my inventory? It lasts 8 hours? Huh. I could just learn this. I could just not sleep tonight and learn this. Now that I know about this, Nylor could probe my brain. That is fascinating. I could test it. If I just look at Nylor in the Gentle City and don't feel that prodding sensation, I could test it. Is it magic? Can I make an Arcana check?
Go ahead.
17?
Well, this sort of thing, like, innate magic effects, sometimes they aren't, like, able to be counterspelled and whatnot, but a lot of times they operate under the same rules as magic. there is a chance that the Mind Flayer's version of psionic mind reading is different, but there's, you might argue, a better chance that non-detection would be exactly for this sort of thing.
Perisian's like, holy shit, I have an inventory of anti-Nylor scrolls in here. Wait a minute, what the fuck? The player, Kiki, did not particularly realize this. Damn, alright. That's fascinating. Yeah. Do I cast this now? To prevent Nylor from maybe peeking in as soon as I get here? Because they see me learning a spell that can mess up with their telepathy as I'm studying. That might be... I could... If it's... might be affected by... Like, their telepathy might be affected by magic. Maybe the dome would work if I'm studying inside the dome out there. I know I can't study this inside here. It's a lot to consider. I think I have an idea, though. Persian. Persian doesn't exit the thinking chamber. If Nylor sees that I'm using non-detection right now, that would tip them off or enrage them to some degree. But he looks at modify memory. If I make an action and then erase my memory of the action, he looks at Belbert. You can remember. You can bring a note, right?
Belbert can bring a note. Belbert, you don't know if you'd be able to, like, say things and discuss things with Belbert in a way that would be useful, but you could give Belbert a note.
I could give Belbert a note. That's for sure. What's up? I heard it.
Oh, unfortunately, modify memory is you attempt to reshape another creature's memories.
I can't do it on myself?
But
Damn.
doing it on yourself is so cool, I'm gonna rule of cool it in anyway.
Let's go!
This is, like, this is one of the rare SB house rules. You can now modify memory yourself because that slaps.
That does slap. It's kind of fucked up. It's, ooh, yeah, let's go. Alright. Now I just need a plan. I think what I'll do is that I will exit the dome. I will exit this and start learning non-detection.
Okay.
I will cast, like, Tiny Hut, first and foremost.
Sure. Now remember, the modify memory only affects 10 minutes, and it's going to take longer than that to learn non-detection.
Fuck, you're right. And he just hatched this whole thing, so it's now or never. Let's go. Alright, thank you. Alright. Persian gets 3 notes. One of them is to Big Lady. One of them and like the other 2 are for the I think it was like violence and something else. I have notes on this.
Sure. Violence and turbulence.
Violence and turbulence. Particularly, the one for
Dumara?
Dumara, thank you. The one for Dumara would read, Nylor wants Spike dead.
Okay, now it's worth noting that when you were in the room with Nylar, one of the things he was probing about, one of the things I asked about was how, like, are you very likely to change your mind in the future? And this is a pretty hard swing in the other direction, and I know that warhips can be pretty mercurial, but I think I need some sort of justification for why such a huge change.
Perisian wants to genuinely send Spite away from Dumara for a small amount of time. And
Gotcha.
into a trap with maybe Discord, Turbulence, or Karstus, whilst we catch up with Spite and kill Nylor.
Spite and what?
So, like, and then, after a bit, Dumara and Perisian, like, the plan is, to either get Spite, Turbulence, or Violence on his side, or Karstus, to be able to set up a trap, with, like, partial knowledge. Maybe he's gonna rely on Karstus to be like, hey, I'm gonna need you to stand in this room for a bit. I can't exactly tell you why. Like, that kind of shit.
Sure.
And he wants to send Spite away, into that area. Like, so he is holding up that he is going to distract Amara for a hot sec.
Yeah.
To place their guard down and essentially trap Nylor in, like a fucking curb stomp, essentially.
Sure. I'm for it. All right, you take some time. Write down exactly what these notes are.
Yeah.
And I'm perfectly willing to say that it might take you a day to plan this.
Yeah. Well, Persian ain't got that much time, but yeah.
You can take a rest.
He's he's doing a short rest and concocting this.
Okay. You can also do a long rest.
That's true.
Here's the thing. Nylar can't read your mind if you're unconscious.
Oh my god. Oh, if I sleep on it, Perisian can sleep on it? Hell yeah. Perisian gets out, goes, he sets up that tiny hut spell, and, like, wedges it against where the door would be, so you can't particularly open it because he's paranoid, and just sleeps on it.
Sick.
Cool.
Just need more time to pass. Okay, you can feel free to start planning all this stuff out.
Yeah.
If you want, because this is a lot, you are sleeping on it, we could end this session here, and, are you available Saturday or Sunday?
I am, I have, blah blah, let me go ahead and check. I am available Sunday, I actually just got that day off.
Okay, then on Sunday, you will come back to me with Warhips' full enacted plan.
Fan-fucking-tastic. This is gonna go so bad. Let's go. I'm gonna have to think about this so hard.
Okay! This is a session I am extremely looking forward to.
Alright, thank you all for listening. Let's hope I can not make a harebrained scheme. I'm gonna be drawing out what I remember of this map so hard.
Hey, other players! If you're listening to this in the future, this is what's gonna make or break Perisian.
Yeah, Perisian may die. You may just show up and Perisian's a corpse, or... this is why I'm releasing this after, because if Perisian gets brain-dogged in this case, they're gonna have to go through all of that, and I'm here for that. Alright, well, thank you so much. See you next time.